How do you recognize that?
It's the what was provided to you.
What's good, YouTube family? We just over here watching the YNW Melly case. We feel like watching it with us, just trying to gather some information because they're in the final stages of this case. We want to make sure we review this and we watch it with non-bias or none of that too. They coming at this detective. He's using YouTube documentaries as his credible source to get Melly. I'm telling y'all, man, Melly is coming home, y'all. Shout out to Tonya Stanley. Shout out to American Robertson. Yo, much love, gang. Used to think you was from Brooklyn. I lived in Brooklyn before. Half my family from Brooklyn, though. Rest in peace to my grandma. Shout out to my first cousins. I'm a Florida boy. Shout out to D. Kendrick, McClendon. Free that, man. Man, Melly is going to be found free, I personally think. Shout out to Deja Vu. Shout out to my homie Crank in the building.
You can just tell by the 1 minute, 46 seconds if this is the edited one.
And does this documentary fairly and accurately
Y'all hang on right
show who was pictured in this documentary and
Yes.
was this put out and released by the defendant?
Yes.
And at this time, the state is requesting those states put Google X in. The next number is that.
Sure.
Shout out to Adrian Gross. He said that's another way the government harass black men. They will take your art form and use it against you. Never done it in any other category of music where or except black people art. You're absolutely correct. That's kind of strange. Even like, you might as well tell people don't create art and tell their stories or truth or whatever. You might as well delete The Godfather. You might as well delete Scarface, because if you're gonna say these things make a burden of guilt, that's kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to defend YNW Melly, but it's true. Using art form should be illegal in court. Rolling Love said, big up, bless one from Moorhead, Mississippi. Shout out to the SIP, man. I love the SIP. Amenra Robinson said, why the state acting like they didn't fumble the bag? They fumbled big time. Even if they do find YNW Melly guilty, man, let's just be honest, y'all. There's so much pre-biasness in this court case, man. He's definitely gonna, by the Supreme Court, he'll get a retrial. Trust me. Cause look, the case right now, it's here, it's still here. If you can see the screen, they took a little remission to get some paperwork, but one of the detectives is using YouTube documentaries as their burden of, you know, of guilt towards YNW Melly. They made us wait all these, I'm talking about like 4.5 years or more, and the only evidence they've been using was basically YouTube videos, which are publicly out there that even Melly knew about. Shout out to Miss Harley, the inspiring truth teller. Ann Marrera Robinson said, why the state acting like, okay, I read that already, my bad, y'all. Rolling Love said, big up, bless from Moorhead, Mississippi. Shout out to the SIP. D. Kendrick says, yeah, they fumbled the ball for real. I personally think so as well. Look, rest in peace to Sack Chaser and rest in peace to Juvie. Much respect to their families. I'm not out here to say who did what, when, and where. Maybe Melly is guilty, but court doesn't work like that. You have to prove someone is guilty, regardless of how you and me feel. Crank said, might as well say 5 years. Exactly, bro.
No, sir. Thank you. It'll be admitted.
Let me fall back until they're done. Shout out to Jamel and Queen Candy in the building. I'm so glad you went live. Thank you. I should have been went live. I was in a car accident. Adrian said, if you're black, remember, don't practice your freedom of speech by making songs because they try to use it against you. Shaking my head. Like, did you hear what he... Exactly, bro. Nunu said, yeah, he going home. Y'all, excuse me as I fall back as we let the court talk. Every time they have a brief little break or they get quiet, I'll read y'all comments. Let me fall back. Look, there.
Small things, where I'm from. To them in Guilford, to be successful is just a job, a house, and probably a bureau somewhere, or somewhere, like an out-of-town house, and just like a little 9 to 5. You do everything like the same shit every day, Monday through Sunday.
They love what they're in this life. They happy to see us. They happy to see us when they see us. You know what I'm talking about? When we talk about that stuff back in the day, they like, it's like when they want to see you doing these crazy rappers. That's what it is. They go get jobs.
This shit like a dream. Shit we done prayed for.
Y'all see what they using? I can read some of y'all comments. Jamel said finally got a good notification. Thank you, gang.
But we still hungry at the same time, though. We still want more.
I don't get the point of using these documentaries. Thank you to Jamel.
So Detective Moretti, after you saw this video, I want to segue now into some of the other online investigations and other people that you looked at. Did you solely focus your homicide investigation on this defendant?
No, ma'am.
So let's talk a little bit about an individual by the name of Robert Colburn. Who was Robert Colburn?
Mr. Colburn was a young 15-year-old kid. He posted
Yeah,
some
get them likes
Easter
up. Y'all know we
on social
shadow
media.
banned over here, so look out for a player and get them likes up. Salute.
I'm sorry.
One or two words. No speaking.
Objection hearsay.
Thank you. Sustained.
So in terms of the post on social media by Mr. Colburn, did you view it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did he have a specific Instagram handle or name that he was using?
Yes.
And what was that?
Could I refer to my notes?
If you need to refresh your recollection, please do.
Y'all see the hesitation? These folks pretty much don't really have a case. Maybe Melly was guilty. But once again, y'all, court proceedings don't work like that. You gotta prove without a doubt this man pulled the trigger. You didn't have DNA evidence. You didn't have gunpowder residue. And what they took a witness who told that he changed his clothes. I mean, if I got my brother's blood on me, I'm not gonna stay all day with it. I'm gonna change my clothes.
B-R-A-C-K-W-O-E-Z.
And at some point, did you speak with Mr. Colburn?
Yes.
And in terms of when you interviewed him, how long after the homicide was that?
It was a day or two after the homicide that, I think it was actually that day, that evening, he made an inappropriate comment online.
Objection.
Okay. And when you
Let's see,
say,
make sure you made a comment online. Sustained.
They keep
so
saying
without going
objection.
into what was said on that, did you find or locate any location data that placed Mr. Colburn in Miramar on October 26th of 2018?
No.
Did you find any casings that matched the homicide scene in Mr. Colburn's vehicle?
No, ma'am.
Did you find anything else other than the online posting, which we can't get into the content of, that Mr. Colburn did that would show he was involved in this homicide?
Absolutely not.
What about an individual by the name of Montrell Roll? Did that name come up during the course of your investigation?
Yes, ma'am.
And with regards to Mr. Roll, did you make contact with him?
I made contact with his sister.
And from April of 2018 to the present, where does Mr. Roll reside?
Indian River County Jail.
And in terms of October 26th of 2018, where was Mr. Roll residing?
in River County Jail.
Ever been out on bond to your knowledge?
Nope.
So, did you find any location information of what Mr. Wool?
That man
had
looked
seen at the
annoyed,
Yeah.
like he wanted to leave out the
time? Were
hell
you
out
able to
that
verify
case.
his alibi?
Yes, ma'am.
I want to talk a little bit about Crucial Almighty, an individual on Twitter.
Hey, let me know in the
Was
comment
that
section.
a
Do anybody
name that
think
you
Melly will go home?
Yes.
Be honest too.
Who was
Ain't no
Crucial
biasness here.
Almighty?
He was a gentleman from Fort Pierce, David Hedgepeth. He, shortly after the homicide, he placed pictures online, made references.
Okay.
So we eventually interviewed him. And our assumption of him was correct. He was trying to.
Objection.
Let's not speculate on that.
Okay.
So, Detective Murray, with regards to Mr. Almighty,
Yeah,
did you
Kimberly.
review
Basically,
some
they want
online
us to believe
songs
that
and postings
he
that
killed them
made
and
back
planned
in
it years before
2018?
it happened. Basically,
And
in a nutshell,
terms of
their
the
case
evidence
looked
or
like
contents of
a
that,
clown show.
Did you follow up as to where Mr. Hedgepeth was?
Armin
on
Yam
October
saying
26th?
no, he's done. I could
Yeah.
respect that.
And what
If y'all
do
think
you
he's
follow
done,
up?
let me know. If y'all think he's going home, let us know. Because at the end of the day, folks did die. So I don't want to make it look like I'm favoring, you feel me, killers to come home. I'm not looking at it like that. I'm looking at the trial to see, can you prove this man did it? Let's pretend Melly did do it, but can the state prove he's guilty without a burden of doubt? That's all I'm saying. But y'all can speak freely. Queen Candy said, I think he's guilty, but he may not get convicted. Exactly. That's how I personally feel. Okay, now I can talk to y'all and read y'all comments. They took a little break again. Queen Candy said he definitely won't get the death penalty. Yeah, I think that even though because that Parkland situation in that school, I don't think he's gonna see the death penalty based on enough. Even if he was found guilty, you're absolutely correct. So I think he has hope. That's all any person or a defendant hopes for, meaning that even if he would be found guilty, he has enough circumstances to go to the Supreme Court and appeal this even 6-7 years later to try to get a fair trial, because there was enough things in here that prove the states don't know what the hell they talking about. Everything they even use DJ Academics
So
videos
going
as
forward
proof.
to, with regards to Mr. Hedgepeth, did you write a warrant to obtain information and contents from his Twitter?
Yes,
Just for Mr. Hedgepeth?
Yes,
Okay. And in terms of the information from Mr. Hedgepeth's Twitter, did any location data place him in Miramar on October 26, 2018?
no, ma'am.
Did Mr. Hedgepeth post any photos of the Jeep with pullables on it?
He did post a picture of the Jeep, which was online at that time.
Okay. In terms of when the picture that he posted, was it from the Miramar Police Department?
I have to see the picture.
Okay. In terms of
Tiana Gonzalez
Going
said the
back
state
to
messed this case
the
up. Yep,
warrants, and we'll come
pretty
back to
much
Mr.
big
Hedgepeth
time.
on Twitter as well. And I can move a couple things around the computer to show it to you.
Free
So,
biasness
we
don't
talked
belong to
about,
court. It makes you
Anthony
lose
Williams
every
reviewing
time.
his film. You said you did the same for Chris Thomas's film?
Yes, ma'am.
I think I failed to ask you what percentage of photos and videos on Mr. Thomas's phone depicted Christopher Thomas.
It was about the same, 75-80%.
And in terms of the cell phone number that was assigned to each of the two individuals who were deceased in this case, Anthony Williams and Christopher Thomas,
Yes, ma'am.
do you know those numbers by heart at this point?
No, I have to refer that.
Okay. So I'm first going to ask for Anthony Williams. What was Mr. Williams' phone number on October 26, 2018?
Well, I know Mr. Williams was the 954 number. It was 954-371-7895.
Okay, and that was, hold on.
I'm sorry, that was Dontavius Withers.
Okay, Withers? Okay.
Yes.
So, in terms of Mr. Williams' phone,
954-248-9081.
and then Mr. Thomas's phone from the Sprint records, do you recall his phone number?
His was the 772-713-2341.
So on Mr. Thomas's phone, did you do a similar
Yeah, smash that like
extraction
button, please.
that we
Shout out
already
to
discussed
Deja
about
Vu.
it?
Crank said,
Mr.
in all
Williams' phone?
honesty,
Yes.
it's not over
And
until it's
in
over,
terms
so
of
it can go
the
either way.
dates
I agree with
and
you. I'm
times of
50-50.
use of that
Kimberly
cell phone.
says DJ Bless one,
Were
yes,
you able
firsthand.
to
I had the pleasure of being in Broward
the
County
last
Court. Man, I've been there like
outgoing
13 times or more,
from
definitely.
Mr. Thomas's phone?
They
It was
have
around,
no murder
3
weapon,
a.m.
says
on
Robinson.
10/26,
DNA, the
2018.
footsteps
And
tracked
do you
was
know what
length
contents
plus no.
of that
The trajectory
conversation was?
expert pushed the
It was,
investigation. Yeah, let me
Mr.
pause this and
Thomas
say
was
this. Wait, I'm gonna let it keep going, but I muted it. Exactly, the trajectory analysts, when they brought their defense, what people was like, oh, it's over for Melly. Look at the trajectories. Look, the trajectories was absolutely correct, but here's the problem. It still didn't prove Melly is the one who pulled the trigger. It still didn't prove he premeditated this murder. It didn't prove anything. It just proved the shots were more closer than what was said in the story of a drive-by, but it doesn't dismiss a drive-by happened, whether it was yards away, 300 meters away, or 10 feet away, or 4 feet from the vicinity. It does, like, that's the thing. They got a clown show going on, my personal opinion.
Purchased again.
Are you aware that of the what's been previously admitted into evidence as states 39?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is that substance?
It is marijuana.
Is this the marijuana that was recovered from that car, a Jeep?
Yes, ma'am.
So I want to talk about, and can you explain to ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what is a geofence warrant?
The geofence warrant is a technology that we use in criminal investigations. This technology has been around for a while. And basically a geofence warrant is where we establish a virtual perimeter around a known location. This technology is not new. It was heavily used recently in the January 6th riots. That's how you can identify individuals.
So you explained when you're doing the geofence warrant, you said you're creating a
Virtual fence
virtual fence.
around a known location.
Okay. So I'm going to put and publish for what's been introduced as States 93. And if you could, for the purposes of the record, what does States 93 show?
This is just the map layout, the Google Maps of the area where the crime took place.
Okay. Did you do a geofence warrant for this location?
Hold on, my moderator, Miss Harley, got me rolling. She said, my opinion, Bless, if Melly do get out, is because the masses and rituals when this case first started, the devil, sheesh, energy was all behind it. I can't argue with you because I believe in the spirits. Taina Gonzalez say no gun residue on him. I'm just saying, is all he all over the place and crazy, yeah, but he won't be convicted on hearsay. Agree with you. They can get him on, like, maybe, actually you can't really get him on pretty much. You can't say weapon charges. What you gonna say? He was breaking curfew? Like, even if they can't get him on the murder, what else you gonna get him on? You know what I'm saying? And then if he wins this case, he has a situation where he can sue the state after this, because especially if it gets dismissed on prejudice or whatever, that's a situation where you can actually counter the state for the lost time, lost wages, everything like that. I don't want to go quickly into the lawsuit, but I'm just looking at this from the outside perspective because I'm from Broward County, Florida. There's a family hurting right now, and that's Sack Chaser family and Juvie family. So I'm not trying to, I would never make fun of this. I don't know Melly personally. I know people around him 100%. I know people who know Juvie. I went to school with folks who went to school with Sack Chaser. It's very close. So that Vero situation and area, I don't want to get mad and say the wrong things because my heart is with all people. Just like the XXXTentacion case, I give a shout out to the family of the dudes who got arrested and the families of X, because it's a big loss regardless of how you look at it. You got to be fair and non-biased when you covering these things.
Okay. Does the Apple iPhone have to access either Gmail or something in the background for it to show up in the Geofence warrant?
Yes, but you also have to have your location data on as well.
What does that mean?
When you set up your Gmail account, it's going to ask you, do you want to save, store location data? You know, most people turn it off because they don't want to be sharing their location with Google.
And in terms of the Google accounts that warrants were done on this case that have previously been discussed, the YNW Melly at Gmail, YNW Melly booking at gmail.com. Did you do a search warrant on that particular email address?
Yes, ma'am.
What was the status of the location services for that?
It was turned on.
If an individual has an Android phone, what's going to show up on a Geofence warrant?
It will show up on the Geofence warrant.
When you did the Geofence warrant in this case, did any other devices show up at this location?
No devices showed up at the location.
So going forward now, I'm going to talk about January 17th of 2019. Did you have an opportunity to meet with one of the individuals involved in this case?
Yes.
And who was that?
Jacoby Mills.
And where did you speak with Mr. Mills?
Indian River County Jail.
When you spoke with Mr. Mills, or I'm sorry, about pointing to what he was talking about.
Yeah, Dubs, I think a verdict is going to be expected either by the end of this week or early on the top of Monday. Wow. Remember I said that we're going to get a verdict at the end of this week or on the top of Monday, because they already done they had the final witness of the case, which was yesterday. The dude who said, we can watch that later when I come back from my appointment, but and I'll do another live. I definitely will do another live today. The dude who had the clothing and who was the last person to see Sack Chaser and Juvie alive, he claimed Melly, when Melly went to the crib, Melly changed his clothes. And I'm not gonna lie, that dude better know, and I'm not putting no harm towards his way. He in his mind, he's doing the right thing, but there are street dudes in Broward County that will call that so-called witness a rat, a snitch, whatever you want to call it. And I just hope he knows you can't show your face in Broward County after you said them things, regardless of how the case go, guilty or innocent. You went on the stand and said he changed his clothes or whatever. Them street dudes is watching it. They already probably labeled that witness as a rat, but that was the last final civilian witness. Now I think the main witnesses they're using is like detectives and analysts and these type of agents, which also seem a mockery because these dudes are bringing up YouTube documentaries, DJ academic videos, even some YouTubers with 2,000 subscribers, no disrespect, because they showed it, that look what he had and what he put. Like, what that got to do with Melly, with what a random citizens of America choose to upload on YouTube and speculate? You can't find a verdict based on speculations. No, you need substantial evidence. That's how it's working. Okay, they took another little break so I can keep talking. Wax AP, man, Wax AP, I love you, homie, man. I'm glad you came back to the world. I know dudes making fun of your situation. I watch everything, bro. All I said, I'm glad, homie, you know, you came back out of that jail situation. And salute to you for respecting El Compa funeral. A lot of dudes doing all that talk. You actually went to the funeral of El Compa. That makes you, in my eyes, a real certified dude. You feel me? I didn't go because I don't know El Compa enough. We only had one interaction. That would be fake as hell with me. You feel me? Even though I got ties in Brooklyn, I could have went there if I wanted to, but I got a family to raise. I don't know this man, but I did my part in saluting his name. Shout out to Wax AP. Kimberly Chambers said, oh yeah, bless one, you're right. Thank you, Queen. But I don't want to be right. It's just the case is so pathetic that you got to look at the case for what it is. It's a joke.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm going to go forward a little bit while we're on that subject, and then I'm going to give a phone number.
I'm going to read the rest of y'all comments. Let me let the case keep going.
Defense counsel has previously seen and viewed and it will state quadruple Y. Did you have an occasion on and pursuant to prior agreement, counsel?
Yes.
State would move states quadruple Y into evidence.
Is there any objection?
99.
No.
It'll be admitted.
States quadruple Y. What do you want? States 99.
Detective, in terms of on February 20th of 2019, did you listen to a phone call that was placed from the Broward County Jail to 772-713-9807?
Yes.
I'm now going to publish the first 6 minutes of that phone call.
Remember, y'all, all their evidence is social media activities and cell phone trackers, which still prove nothing, even if he was at the scene. Because that's what they're trying to do, proving Melly was at the scene. You have to prove he had motive, he had intentions, and he was the actual shooter. They have yet to prove any of this during this 5-year process. People keep trying to tell me Melly is guilty because he's laughing in court and all that. That may be the case, but that doesn't prove anything other than Melly is making a mockery of the court case.
This is a collect call from an inmate at Broward County Main Jail. To pay for just this call using your credit or debit card, please press 1. To decline this call, this call will cost $2.05 for the first minute and 30 cents for each additional minute, plus any applicable federal, state, and local taxes, plus a one-time transaction fee of $3. You will only be charged the permitted rate for the amount of time you are on the phone. If you do not want to connect this call, but would like to fund an account to pay for future calls, please hang up and dial 800-844-6591.
Never mind. Never mind. I'll see you asleep.
They're playing the phone call to show burden of proof, but all right, I'm gonna skip past this commercial. Y'all ain't gone. But I like, hey, the state, y'all gonna get the family of Juvie and Sack Chaser upset. You feel me? You're going to. Okay, they didn't talk yet. Y'all gonna get the family of Sack Chaser and Juvie upset because this is proving that Broward County attorneys and state prosecutors and the DA, they definitely know how to mess up a case. Because the only way I can see Melly being guilty if the judge and the jury already said in their mind, we're gonna find him guilty regardless of evidence, which the Supreme Court has to get involved.
While the person you are calling is entering information to pay for this call. This call is subject to recording and monitoring. To continue, press 1. To disconnect, press 2. Thank you for using Securus. You may start the conversation now.
Hello? Hey, Mom. Hey, baby. Why didn't you just call my phone where I got my credit card linked to? You should have called my phone, baby, because I put money on my phone.
It's my own.
No, you out of money. It said that this. I just put my credit card on your phone now.
Yeah, yeah, you could have. Oh, yeah, it's on my credit card.
Yeah, I don't know your credit card number because it asks for like your expiration date and your zip code. I don't know what your stuff is that's linked to that card. What are your 7-Eleven? Like 7-Eleven nearby. What you doing, baby?
Yeah. I'm vibing. Give you, just, my credit card. I'm gonna give you my credit card number.
Well, I'm trying to get track back your phone, because he said I'll be answering the phone like I'm supposed to.
And we gonna be working and all that.
Yeah, oh, he just said he love you, keep your head up, and everything. And then, yeah, Peasy. Where's been checking your phone? I ain't been reading your stuff, but you got like text messages from him. I didn't know if you want me to call him or anything on three-way or...
Yeah, I mean, call Justin Holmes real quick.
Who is that? Hold on. You got the number?
He did it, son. Yeah, it's in my phone. Justin Holmes.
Oh, P. Diddy's son. Okay. Hey, I got the bridge. The bridge went up. So I should not get it. The bridge. Okay, yeah, we put in the GPS for 7-Eleven. Okay, yeah, So I go under contact, I go under Justin.
Yeah.
What's the number? Is there, I need facial recognition.
762-556.
7. Oh my God, I'm trying to drive, I'm trying to do this. Hold on. 762-556.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mariah, can you drive real quick? I just like, hold on, I'm about to have Mariah drive so I can do this for you.
Hey, I apologize to all of y'all. I'm loving the vibration. I'm like what y'all doing. I was in a car accident yesterday, so I got an attorney. Speaking of case, and then the views are jumping up. I got a situation with an attorney. You feel me, to see something going on with the car accident. I apologize to each and every one of y'all. I'm loving the vibe, and the numbers are about to boom up. Shout out to everybody in here. What we will do when I come, damn, it's 74 too. It's booming up. What I will do, I'm gonna do a part 2 this afternoon, and we definitely gonna use all these videos. Shout out to Law and Order, Law and Crime Network. We definitely gonna do it. Hey, shout out to Charles Harper. I'm not mad you saying he's done. Over here on this platform, we're non-biased. Y'all can say if y'all think he's done. Y'all can tell us if y'all think he'll be free. I love the vibe to be like that. Look, I love each and every single one of y'all. This is I Smoke Hip Hop Live. Love your family, love your kids.